I'm doing great. Thanks for joining me in this pre-town hall news, metaverse news, and thanks for putting it together. I think it's super useful for the community.
Absolutely, I agree. I think it's good to keep an eye on everything going around in the entire ecosystem, whether it's the metaverse space, the gaming space, or even just the cryptocurrency space in general. So it's nice for a
Yeah,
little update.
yeah. Just to be clear, this is not the town hall yet. We are doing this just to keep everyone informed about what's going on in our space. So if you want, Ash, we can start right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get rolling.
Okay, what do you have for us today?
Yes. So, all right, everyone, let's take a look at some of the top headlines around the entire crypto and metaverse ecosystem, starting with the biggest news this week. The U.S. Department of Justice seized approximately $3.6 billion worth of Bitcoin stolen in a 2016 hack of Hong Kong-based cryptocurrency exchange Bitfinex. At the time, the incident was the second largest heist of its kind, with the hacker stealing approximately $63.7 million worth of Bitcoin. On Tuesday, the Justice Department announced the seizure of more than 94,000 of the 120,000 Bitcoins originally stolen and the arrest of the duo who allegedly tried to launder the fortune. Now, they're actually a pretty interesting couple. If you have not seen their social media accounts, you may want to check them out for a good laugh. In other news, over 100 cryptocurrencies have a market cap over $1 billion. BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager, is preparing to offer a cryptocurrency trading service to its investor clients. The New York-based company, which manages over $10 trillion in assets for institutions, plans to enter the cryptocurrency space by giving clients the ability to borrow from BlackRock by pledging crypto assets as collateral. Binance, the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, is making a $200 million strategic investment in Forbes, looking at the magazine as a way to help promote widespread consumer understanding and education about cryptocurrencies. Billionaire Tim Draper now backs Morpher. Built on Ethereum, Morpher trades virtual versions of stocks, commodities, and currencies. Algorand recently announced former JP Morgan executive Stacey Warden as CEO. And Intel announces they will be creating a blockchain accelerator unit with a focus on sustainability. OnlyFans is following in Twitter's footsteps by enabling NFT profile pictures. Users can now use verified Ethereum NFTs on their profile images. And an NFT by Pack was sold for 16,593 ETH, a total of $52.7 million on Wednesday, putting it among the most expensive NFTs ever sold. Titled Clock, the work is being sold to support funding for the legal defense of Julian Assange and logs the amount of days he has spent imprisoned. It was bought by a DAO dedicated to the WikiLeaks founder. The DAO states it's rallying to the cause of a fellow cypherpunk in distress. And in metaverse and gaming news, South Korea's $200 billion sovereign wealth fund announces they will invest in both metaverse and AI startups. Gala Games confirms plans to allocate $5 billion by end of year to gaming, music, movies, and theme park NFT operations. Every Realm, formerly known as Republic Realm, has raised a $60 million Series A round led by Andreessen Horowitz. The firm invests in and develops virtual land and metaverse games, including The Sandbox and Decentraland. Casual game maker Zynga will launch its first blockchain-based NFT game this year. Senior Vice President of Blockchain Gaming Scott Wolf states they see crypto, blockchain, NFTs, and Web3 as potentially huge. Take-Two Interactive has announced last month that they will acquire Zynga for $12.7 billion. Video game publisher Ubisoft is back in the headlines, stating it will bring its Rabbids franchise to the Sandbox metaverse. Ubisoft will have virtual land in the Sandbox that will feature interactive experiences. Take-Two, the publishing company behind the Grand Theft Auto video game franchise, has its eye on the potential opportunities presented by NFTs. CEO Strauss Zelnick recently stated, "We're highly convinced there's an opportunity for NFTs to fit with Take-Two's offerings in the future." McDonald's is filing 10 different trademarks related to a metaverse space. These trademarks show that the company is planning on a virtual restaurant franchise and even a virtual concert space. And for the first time ever, the Super Bowl, one of the largest sporting events of the year, will include ads from cryptocurrency exchanges such as FTX and Crypto.com, with some 30-second ads costing over $7 million per slot. The NFL is also giving attendees of this weekend's Super Bowl virtual commemorative tickets as NFTs, as well as the chance for the rest of us to buy limited edition NFTs this week leading up to the game. So this has been a general recap of the entire crypto and metaverse ecosystem. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Back to you, Santi.
Thank you, Ash. Super useful. I think it's great news for the community because we can be updated on everything that's happening around us, not only with Star Atlas, but the whole metaverse space. So thank you, Ash, for putting it together, and it was great as always.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. And, I agree. I think it's important to just kind of keep an eye on everything, to know that the ecosystem is constantly growing and evolving, and we're in a really good space here. So.
Yeah. So Ash, you will be hosting today the post town hall after party.
Yes, so directly after the town hall, we will have the town hall after party live on Twitter Spaces. I'm going to add the link into the Discord general chat as well for everybody for ease to get there.
That is great. Yeah, we'll be all there after the town hall. I know that I love the chats that happen in the after party. So thank you again for hosting them. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great way for the community to get together and discuss everything that's been going on in the town hall or just in the Star Atlas ecosystem, and just get together and talk about everything and help educate new people too, and help bring them into our Star Atlas metaverse as well.
Yeah,
so seeing all of you guys there and chatting with you.
Hopefully we can get Chip as well, as always in the after party.
Yes, that would be
dropping
fun.
some alpha. Yeah,
he's always rocks it, and he does a great job.
Yeah, we love Chip. I think he will be joining us for the town hall today. So, Swagner, are you here with us, or are you drinking some water? As always.
Getting caught up on the hydration, Santi, but yes, I'm here. Great to be here. I unfortunately missed Ash's presentation there. I was really looking forward to the industry news.
No problem. We will start the town hall event right now. I'm not sure how this works. It's the first time I do it, so if the stage closes, please join again.
Good one.
It says that the stage is already open, so we will just change the name of the stage to the Star Atlas Town Hall.
Oh, got it. We do have some great guests joining us today as well. Sarah, if you're out there in the audience, please raise your hand. We'll get you up on stage. Also here with us is Dan Park. That's Frogverse. He's general counsel in-house. He's been interacting with quite a few of you in the discussion around IP of the metaverse in the future. So it's kind of a hot topic of discussion. He's going to talk a little bit more about that today, but as always, really great to introduce some team members and give you some backstage access to what a day in the life at Star Atlas is like, building from the ground up. And so Dan, just real quick, great to have you here. Chip, awesome to have you here. And Ash, great to see you as always.
All right. So are you ready to start, Swagner?
Yeah, we can jump in. It's I'll be honest, we've really been just down in the trenches building based off of the roadmap that we had laid out 2 weeks ago on the town hall. As we mentioned, there's essentially 6 core projects that we're building out this year. at least from the kind of front end marketplace and minigame component. We do have an extensive team that's building out on the full production side within Unreal Engine. So to kind of summarize on the core engineering aspects, we do have a new marketplace program that's going to be rolling out and replacing the implementation, at least for most items available for sale, if not all of them. There's also going to be a really interesting economic component to that. I don't want to reveal too much about it right now, but there's going to be incentives introduced related to Atlas staking. Naturally, we do have major emphasis and a lot of resources right now allocated to DAO and Polis staking. I guess just a quick update on that component is we did encounter some challenges at the beginning of the year with the way that it was originally spec'd out for design. We have several frameworks at our disposal that we can leverage. We are looking at frameworks like SPL Governance, which is a core library developed by the team at Solana, or the Solana Foundation, for use in DAO implementation. We're looking at Tribeca, another third-party implementation of DAOs, and then we're also looking at Inc. Finance. Now, what we've discovered through this process of development in the beginning of the year is that there is no real off-the-shelf standalone solution that accomplishes all of our goals with our project specifications in mind. We have some great solutions for independent governance and voting and proposal and voting mechanisms. We also have separately some great implementations that we can use for some type of staking and reward mechanism. What we don't have right now is the intersection or convergence of those two items. And so our team has been spending a lot of time and focusing on how do we develop out a robust solution that satisfies both of those requirements and delivers really all of the value to the users that you would expect to come from us. And so I don't really have any updates right now on what the timing looks like. All I can emphasize is that it is really our highest priority right now to get that out. We understand how important it is to you. And so I'm heavily focused on that. It's certainly possible that we still get this delivered in February, but outside of that, I don't have any additional timeline updates right now. I think another major development, though, over the past couple of weeks is this improvement to the marketplace UI, specifically thinking about mobile optimizations. And this is kind of on the tail end too, just coincidentally on the release of Phantom's mobile wallet. So for those of you that are mobile users primarily, you'll notice that things are loading a little more properly, images are properly aligned. You can actually interact with the application, including score, just using the Phantom mobile wallet. And we understand just how important this is, given the global community that we're targeting here. So people from all over the world that maybe don't have access to a laptop or a computer, or going into the future, these extensive gaming computers that are going to be necessary to engage in Unreal Engine will still be able to engage with us in some form of gameplay, even with their mobile device. So it's really great seeing those improvements roll out. Circling back, looking at things like ship configuration, mining, crafting, resource extraction, and improvements to things like score going into the end of the year. With respect to the Unreal Engine development, we have a great team fully dedicated to production on that environment. And I guess the one comment I would make there, and the questions that we've gotten have been with respect to multiplayer functionality. We think that that's going to be a critical component of the release of the showroom. We are targeting to have multiplayer released alongside the showroom itself, but if it's not, it would be a future enhancement on that product. But what's going to be really cool about it, once again, to kind of recap, you'll be able to view your assets at scale in Engine. There's going to be some exploration in there that you can kind of, it's quite a large map and environment, so you'll be able to run around and explore that map. And ultimately, we think that this is going to be a great environment for various communities, including the DACs out there that exist across Star Atlas, to be able to do things like host their own town halls or guild meetings or strategy meetings. So still targeting Q2, Q3 for some release of the showroom. Getting a bit more specific into the production side, We've got 6 new ships. This is really from Danny's department. Again, hoping to have him up with us sometime. Again, he's completely buried, so I'm happy to take the charge here, but hopefully we'll get him back up sometime soon. But this is coming from Danny's department. We have the next 6 ships fully concept complete, so those are prepared for rollout. We did onboard a new head writer. So the head writer is going to lead various components of lore and storyline behind Star Atlas. We also have, I want to be real careful about this, but we are taking a multimedia approach to the release of content across Star Atlas, and we've received completion of the initial draft of art that's going to be related to this unannounced lore project, but I'm very excited about when we can officially announce that to you all. As I said, we've continued the progress on the showroom. We've specified now the multiplayer scope with an emphasis on that. And I think it's really cool, this Foundation SDK that our team is building, which is an embedded launcher, game client with a Solana wallet, Web3 integration. And once again, I'd point out here that we are looking to open source this at some point in the future. So developers of Unreal Engine will be able to have a simple process to integrate Solana directly into their game experience as well. I emphasize that because it is important. While we're focused very, very heavily on building out this game today, we see a major opportunity to create an environment for external developers and external user-generated content to live inside Star Atlas in some way, whether that's ancillary or tangential initially, or ultimately living directly inside the Star Atlas universe. Providing tooling like this is going to enable that type of creativity and innovation to exist across Star Atlas, across our economy and within this universe. We did also experience an aggressive expansion with one of our vendors. It's Vert Paint. So they work on ship and character game art. They specifically focus on hard surface work, and so they've been greenlit to rapidly scale their team. In fact, everywhere across this company, we're scaling. And that extends out to those third parties and vendors that are working with us in a dedicated fashion. We're helping to build their teams so that they can help us deliver on this product. Hanno Hagedorn is starting next week as a character art director, working with Spearsoft Vert Paint and our in-house team, Automata, to build out full character, creature, visual standards, and pipelines for the different species and their multitude of outfits. Seen some really cool concept art that gets delivered on our internal Discord, and I'm sure some of those will be released to you all out there in the near term. Toby Olson, this is a Star Atlas original team member. He's been with us for a long time, moving into a general art manager position, working closely with Danny, and they're going to be creating an umbrella that follows all art production. So Toby has 25 years of experience in CG games as a senior level animator, VFX, and modeler. So also the production lead at CG supervisor, working with teams from Sony, Cartoon Network, Blur Studio. That's referring back to Toby as well. So he also worked on projects like Superman Returns, Farscape, Armageddon, Twilight, and much more. So as you can see, the talent that we're bringing on, these are deeply experienced and talented people, and that's the caliber of personnel that we want to have here at Star Atlas. So Toby, congrats on that promotion if you're out there listening in at all. Let me take a quick pause. Santi, any thoughts, any questions?
I will let you get a quick pause, man. You're doing a great job as always, covering everything. So there's no questions really from my side. I'm loving the updates. I'm sure the community as well. So I can share with you some updates that we have from the community side. From the community side, we are hosting new events. For example, I'm co-hosting together with Jose the new event called the Atlas Brew that is happening every single Wednesday here on Discord. So I will encourage everyone to join, because we theory craft about Star Atlas and about a lot of crazy stuff. So I would love everyone to join to go crazy with the thoughts about Star Atlas with us. It's a great community meeting. So next Wednesday is going to happen again. This Wednesday we talked about careers inside in-game. So next week we are going to talk about police and the importance in the Stratos metaverse. So I highly encourage everyone to join. Also, we have 2 giveaways ongoing on Twitter. 6 people will win 1 air bike each. So I encourage everyone as well to look at our Twitter and find the links. So that is great. Everyone can participate. And also, again, a reminder that we have the town hall after party on Twitter. Right after we end here in the town hall on Discord, we will move to Twitter for the after party. So those are the main updates from a community side, Michael. You can continue if you want.
Yeah, fantastic. Thanks, Santi. Great updates, exciting stuff. I love the content coming from marketing comms and the engagement that we're able to generate from that. But also, it is important for us to enable to provide assets to people who may otherwise not be able to purchase them. And so, really excited that we're going to be giving away some more ships over the course of the year. Fun
yeah,
stuff.
you should join us on the Atlas Brew on Wednesday, Michael. I will leave it there. You have the invitation, man. You have the invitation.
Well, you have direct access to scheduling. Would love to get that on the calendar, if at all possible. So, just dovetailing a little bit on that, by the way, Santi, on community, I've kind of noted in some of my commentary with the community this week that I have been traveling. And not only have I been traveling, but a lot of people across our team have been traveling. And so the Solana Foundation rolled out this really cool program where they have hacker houses all over the world. And so a bunch of our team members have been stopping into the various locations, whether it be Chicago, LA, Seattle. There's up and coming for Moscow. So it's really exciting for us that our team members are now able to get out there in the development community and start interacting with other people, other developers and innovators across the Solana ecosystem. I specifically this week was, spending time in Miami, but also had a great opportunity to go down to the Bahamas. It was a very quick trip, but for anyone not aware, FTX has established their headquarters there now. I think many of you know FTX has been a fantastic partner of ours really since inception of the project. We were speaking to them before we even debuted to the public. And so we're looking at enhancing and deepening that relationship through mutual events and experiences that we can create. And so I had a great time going down there, connecting with their team, but also a really fantastic time connecting with the local Bahamian community. It was great. Coincidental, they happened to be throwing a crypto event, meetup and gathering. There were a couple of different crypto community cohorts that were present. And I have to say, I was really inspired and kind of shocked at the turnout. The venue was at capacity and people were being turned away. So really cool, again, just to see the activity from places all over the world, and look forward to more events like that going forward. Just in closing for me, I do, as always, we want to make sure we save some time for Q&A here at the end. So just wanted to get a little bit into our human resources and talent acquisition. It's something we always like to update you on. We saw enormous inflow of applications of potential candidates following last week, 2 weeks ago, the town hall. So just a quick update here. In the last 11 days, since the start of February, we've hired 13 new employees. And so that includes a head of growth. That includes 2 game systems designers, 3 web developers, character art director, GameFi research analyst, world builder, content writer, environment designer, technology director, and senior project manager, continuing to build out our internal infrastructure. So, I know these things in the short term, they might not sound all that exciting. There is a little bit of on-ramping time required here to get everyone informed on the way that we operate. But I'm extremely excited about our productive capacity increases going into the future as a result of all of these fantastic new hires. So again, more announcements coming out from us on those specific personnel and positions that have been filled. But for anyone else out there that is interested in working with us, email is always open, jobs@staratlas.com. We're hiring virtually everywhere. Every department, and continuously growing. And as you can see, we are recruiting aggressively. So please feel free to shoot a resume over there. So Yes, Auntie. I think that's it on major updates for the project right now. What I would like to do is get in and introduce our guests. So let me do this. We do have both Dan and Sarah with us today. Dan's on, as I said, in-house general counsel. Dan, would love to hear from you directly. When you joined. You've been with us for a couple of months now. Maybe tell people a little bit about when you joined, what a day in the life on the legal side is like, and maybe get into the IP issues a bit.
Yeah, thanks so much for the intro. Really happy to be here speaking with everyone. I've been listening to these town halls for a while. I never thought I'd be speaking at one, but it's been quite the experience. I've only been here since November of last year, so just a few months at this point. But it's been a blast. Just a little about myself. I'm a long-time gamer. I've always been drawn to any sort of like MMO or any sort of game that has PvP type of elements, player versus player. Ever since Ultima Online or Diablo 1, I've been playing online games. I have had a stint where I was fairly competitive in certain games. Like my claim to fame is in World of Warcraft. I was the highest rated warlock in the entire world across all 3 arena brackets for a period of time. That was actually the summer that I was supposed to be studying for the bar exam, and luckily I passed the bar. And then I started working as a lawyer about 10, 11 years ago. And I've been doing all sorts of corporate work, commercial litigation, some corporate restructuring. I've worked on multi-billion-dollar restructurings, which honestly are just hilariously inefficient in how they work. You have like 100 lawyers trying to figure out who owns what and who is owed what. And when it comes to corporate records, it can be very, very confusing. And that's actually working on those and then seeing kind of the emergence of DeFi and crypto really just highlighted how inefficient the traditional finance system is and how much good the blockchain systems can bring to just identifying who owns what. You can see exactly how many token holders there are of any particular token, what the total supply is, and just the freedom that comes with DeFi, I think is really eye-opening. So the opportunity to join Star Atlas really, it was basically combining all my interests, which were in finance and decentralized finance, also with gaming. I've been a lifelong gamer. And also, I think what really drew me was the kind of the vision behind the DAO. So having a very decentralized organizational structure. Star Atlas's DAO vision is way more ambitious than anything I've seen in the space. I mean, there's a ton of DAOs out there, but many of them are really quite basic. Basically, people vote, 50.1% vote yes, then the treasury will disperse a certain amount of tokens to be used for some purpose. But that's pretty much the extent of it. And I think what we're working on here at Star Atlas is going to be, it's really going to be groundbreaking. It'll completely change the way people think about DAOs in the future. But yeah, I mean, being at Star Atlas has been fun. My day in the life is, it varies quite a lot day to day, but I've been working on all sorts of transactions, so negotiating transactions with all sorts of counterparties, kind of doing risk assessments for the organization as a whole. As you can imagine, we keep a very close eye on a lot of developments around the regulatory scene and just making sure we understand everything that could affect how a DAO would function. We keep a very close eye on that, and without going into too much detail, we are preparing for a variety of outcomes so that we can continue to build no matter what happens in any jurisdiction. But yeah, I think the issue that has come up a lot lately is around intellectual property, because as I think a lot of people in our community want to do, they want to keep building, they want to use the Star Atlas IP for a lot of different purposes. And for us, it's been a little bit, it's challenging to come up with a very simple rule, a simple bright line rule about how you can use Star Atlas IP. But the bottom line is that we really want to encourage external innovation. So we want people to be able to use the Star Atlas logo or to use Star Atlas artwork and have the freedom to do so. But at the same time, we also have to balance a quality control type of value that we have, which is we want, more than anything else, we want people's first impressions of Star Atlas to be, this is amazing, to be like one of amazement and wonder. We want people to see Star Atlas, gameplay and know that it is really high quality, incredible stuff, and that it's immersive and that they want to jump into it. So for now, we're taking an approach that balances those sorts of concerns. We just put out a Medium article. It's linked in the, I think, announcements or social media channels. And the basic gist of it is just like a 3-part policy, which is first, no commercial use of Star Atlas IP. And I'll come back to that in a second, because it's obviously how you define what a commercial use is can be very, can be challenging sometimes. The second is pretty straightforward, but it's no confusing uses. So don't stick a Star Atlas logo at the top of your site in such a way that people would, like a reasonable person approaching the site would think that this is a Star Atlas team, like an officially endorsed or officially created product. Having a disclaimer will help a lot with that. And the third thing is quality control. We haven't really exercised this particular prong of our policy. I think what we've been seeing in the community has all been really encouraging for everybody internally. Everything has been high quality. There's been obviously, whenever we do find a scam or any sort of malicious site, we take it down immediately. But for the most part, we do want to just encourage people to keep building. On the commercial use question, I've been fielding a lot of DMs from people in the community, and that has actually been very helpful, by the way, in terms of us shaping our policy and coming up with something that is very clear for everyone to understand. But the commercial use question is really one of how direct is your use. So, for example, we see a lot of fan sites or YouTube YouTube reviewers who want to put up videos that use Star Atlas IP, like artwork and the logo, and that's all perfectly. We really support that, and we also understand that the creators of those sites or fan sites, they often take in revenue through subscriptions or ad revenue. That is technically, I guess you could say, a commercial use, but it's not something that we prohibit at all. It's what we call an indirect use, and that is totally okay. Where we have a little bit of an issue is where somebody is doing something that's what we call a direct commercial use, which would be, for example, sticking a picture of the Rainbow Ohm on a T-shirt and selling it. That's not okay. That's going to be, we want to make sure that any Star Atlas merchandise, any Star Atlas products that are being sold are very high quality, and so for now, we're reserving that for internal use only. It is very, very challenging to come up with a simple rule that will apply across all situations. So I do want to encourage you to go ahead and DM me if you have any questions about some specific project that you're working on, or if you have an idea for monetizing your fan site, building out some sort of commercial application. We're always open to discussing your particular uses. And I think, I don't want to speak for other people that I've been in contact with, but I hope that we've been arriving at a very reasonable policy for everyone to use. And we hope to continue adapting our policy going forward, depending on where we are in terms of the release of more Star Atlas products. Essentially, where we're headed is in a long-term view. Everything is going to be decentralized. That's definitely the idea here. So with the DAO, we're continuing to build it out, and it's going to be released, and it's going to have more and more power to make decisions in the Star Atlas metaverse. Right now, we still need to lay the groundwork. and also the Star Atlas IP that we're generating, the look and feel of what it means to be in the Star Atlas metaverse. That's also still being developed, and it will take time. It takes a lot of resources, takes a lot of effort by a lot of people at the company. But over time, we want to open up as many channels for people to participate in the metaverse in a permissionless way. That's definitely the goal. It's just the process of how do we get there. And we know it'll take some time, but we want to be transparent in this process, and we will be definitely communicating clearly whenever we do have updates to our policy. But that's pretty much it. Santi, I don't know if you have any questions or follow up on this, but I did go on for a little while there. Happy to take any questions. Yeah.
Thank you, Dan, and thank you very much for joining us today. I know that you're a very busy guy, so I really appreciate your time. I will share on announcements the link to the Medium article that you were referring to. So if anyone wants to check it, you can check it. It's on announcements now. So I'm not sure if Michael, you have any extra questions for Dan, but I think that Dan did a great job covering almost everything.
No, fantastic job, Dan. Really appreciate you coming up here and sharing some insights on our internal thinking with the rest of the community here. I would just emphasize that yes, we do want to encourage and cultivate innovation across the community. We see that it is one of the greatest advantages of building within these decentralized ecosystems that are blockchain and cryptocurrency. It's just important for us not only with things like IP, but thinking forward about operating a decentralized open metaverse economy that we execute in an iterative fashion, very much like how we operate and execute on a project and product delivery timeline, so that we can lay a strong foundation that is sustainable for many years to come. We're thinking in timelines of hundreds of years, not in 5 years or 10 years. So it will be a slow process. It'll be an iterative process, and we're going to be protective of it for now. But that's not to say that we don't want to encourage it going into the future, and we'll work with you in every capacity to ensure that we can kind of fulfill that obligation and desire from our side as well. So Dan, thanks again. Really appreciate it. If there's any questions in the community, we'll tackle those towards the end. But if anyone does have a legal question, Dan's going to stay up here with us to respond to those.
Yeah, sure thing. I've already gotten, I think, 8 friend requests since I started speaking. So I look forward to fielding more questions.
I'll just close with Dan by saying that, it was one of the funniest things I've heard from a team member. He said that this is the most fun he's been having in his professional career working with us here at Star Atlas. And I just found it enjoyable given the legal emphasis, and not necessarily an area that I find particularly enjoyable, but great to hear that, Dan.
I was being honest. Working at a law firm compared to working at somewhere like Star Atlas, where everything we do is often without precedent, which makes it way more exciting for a lawyer. I just love it every day.
Great, man. Well, thank you again. I really appreciate it. And so we do also have Sarah Mcculloch with us. She's a concept artist. She's worked on some amazing ships. I'm sure you all have loved, and well, they've all sold out. So we know that people love them. And Sarah, you've been with us on the team now for a very long time. In fact, you were one of the earlier concept artists to join us. So yeah, we'd love to hear a little bit.
Yeah, that's it. I've been here for come up to about a year now, I think. I think April is, a year. So yeah, I'm an OP.
You've been an amazing addition. Would love to hear a little bit about your background and your experience with us here at Star Atlas.
Yeah, of course. I started my career in this industry way back at Sony Studio, when they had Studio Liverpool, and I got an opportunity whilst I was there to do some art and go on art courses to do like wipeout vehicles, and essentially what I was supposed to be doing was going over to that side to eventually start doing wipeout. But I think it was 2 weeks after I'd finished that course, they completely closed the studio. So I was a little bit at loss of what to do. But the teacher who taught me how to basically draw these vehicles said, "You've got a knack for it. Why don't you actually do it as a university course?" So I did that for 3 years and actually went back to Sony as what my original job was, which was QA. And whilst I was at uni, I also did QA. And then right after uni, about 2 weeks after I finished, I ended up at Star Citizen as an intern, and then I worked there for a fair few years, and then I left and was doing freelance, doing like Eve. I did Eve Online, and I ended up doing a fair of a little like other spaceship game related games, or just and also designing like product design as well, like arcade cabinets and odds and bits like that, which was quite cool, and even snowboards, which apparently if you can make things props and stuff, that's what you end up you can end up doing. And then you guys approached me and was like, hey, do you want to work on some cool ships? And I was like, yes, I would very much like to do that. So I did the Opal Jet, and they were my first two. I've also done a little bit here and there for other things, which are exciting, but we haven't shown yet. So can't wait to actually say, look, I did this. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun. My day to day is planning out what brief I've got, designing the ship from basically top to bottom. Because with ships with myself, I see them almost as your avatar. So they are almost like a representation of yourself, so they have to be absolutely spot on. And yeah, and also has to have a cool factor as well. So so it's always really good.
Yeah, thank you, Sarah, for joining today. Again, we really appreciate you joining us, and we prepared some little questions for you. I'm
Yeah.
sure that the community will love to know in which ships you worked, which ones you created, and also where you found the inspiration to create them.
So yeah, the Opal Jet and the Opal Jet. I really love the insect world, which is why the jet bike, or the Opal bike, looks very insectoid, because there's a certain sleekness to, like, when you break it down on like an insect. They've got like beautiful carapaces, and some of them are very elegant, and the way they fold, like I was looking at the intricacies of how they fold a ladybird wing into its own carapace. And it's all that stuff that I really get a lot of inspiration from, is the natural world. The Opal Jet was obviously a big retro looking vehicle, which is one of my first loves. Is the old school vehicles. One of my favorite is a old school GT40, which I'd love to have a ride in one day. So that was an absolute pleasure to work on, and it was also really good to work with Danny on it, because obviously I work quite closely with Danny. And it was just basically like a really, really nice backwards and forwards of like, hey, let's try this, and how about this texture for the seat, and let's go a little bit old school with like the steering column, and but like let's mix it up a bit with having some sci-fi retro feel. And it's just an absolute pleasure to actually have that freedom to just go a little bit full ham on it. And yeah, I absolutely love it. It's great.
Thank you for sharing the insights of the creation. You know that the community calls the Opal Jet the Space Lambo, so I guess that everyone loves it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, it's absolutely my pleasure.
Sure, I've seen some of the upcoming concepts you've worked on as well, and yes, unfortunately, we can't share too much about it right now. Really excited for the reveal of those as well.
Yeah, honestly, like usually, as I say, I'm a lot of the places where I've worked off last are very constrained and very like headstrong, where they want to see a certain thing. But here, I've been actually been able to have the flexibility of going to Danny and going like, hey, can I just try this? Do you think this will work? And he's like, go for it. And to actually have someone have your back like that is really, really cool. Like, it's just so nice to be able to be like, right, I know I can go with Danny with this. It might seem a bit crazy, but let's just try it and see if it works. And that's how we ended up with the jet folding in the way it does, and all the centerpiece folding out. And yeah, it was just so much fun. It's so much fun.
I love to hear that. And, I think it does kind of raise a question. We have quite an extensive art team right now working directly with Danny. And I'm kind of curious if, I think the perception a lot of times is that the artists are kind of down in the trenches by themselves, focusing on their art. But what is your interaction like with other members across the art team and production team?
Well, Gary, I've known for a long time, and he's on this project, my art director. So it's really nice to bump into him again and actually work with him directly, because obviously we've got a good history together, and obviously working with the other artists as well. Obviously you can't see our Discord, but we always go on going, oh hey man, that's so cool, how have you done this? And just having a really nice backwards and forwards with other artists of certain techniques, how you approach something differently, because every artist works differently, and it's really cool to actually, as an artist, get into the mind of another artist, especially because, as you say, we can be quite isolated sometimes. So when you end up either bumping into people, another guy as well as Mike Oberschneider, I've worked with him in the past. So again, I always jump on. I'm like, hey Mike, how have you done this? And yeah, it's just great to just work with really like-minded and friendly artists again, and just pick the brains.
I love it. Well, really appreciate you being up here. You've been a great addition, and love to see that you're coming up on 1 year anniversary. And again, just thank you for joining us up here on stage today and sharing a little bit about your life, both background and with Star Atlas. So thanks again.
Oh no, my pleasure. Anytime. As I love doing these. They're great.
Awesome. I think going into the future, guys out there in the audience, obviously we are operating on Discord right now. The downside to Discord is that we don't really have the opportunity through these amphitheaters to provide any type of visual display or screen sharing, or even seeing the people behind the avatars and the icons. So going into the future, especially as we roll out things like the showroom, hopefully we'll be able to bring more interactive experiences to you all. So with that, we do have Chip up here, and Chip, you've been, you're very close to the upcoming feature releases this year. Any updates you want to share with us from the game design perspective?
Yeah, so this week's been jam-packed with prioritizing our feature releases for this year. We're really trying to get right the scope of the near-term releases, and then the roadmap of how they all are interdependent, and the order in which we're releasing them. So hesitant to give any details because we're in the process of finalizing that, and then we'll most likely update our roadmap with better and more clear guidance on the gameplay as we're releasing it. But I do want to tease that I was putting together an alpha drop for this town hall. Didn't quite get it done. I'll say that it's about the map and the risk zones. So I'm planning on having that ready for the next town hall, so you guys can look forward to it.
Nice.
Yeah, man, very cool. And there was an official reveal of the security zones and the factions and the layout of the universe, and it was pretty fun seeing the community speculation and the previously imagined universe relative to the way that we had internally designed it. So any additional thoughts on that?
Yeah, I love, like, it kind of sparked, we had a lot of questions about how the risk zones are oriented, and we were talking about the security zone and the medium risk zone and the high risk zone and the cataclysm, and it was really confusing to the player base because there was like, well, I can't really visualize what this looks like. So we kind of teased what it looks like in the foundation room, but we're planning on having a more official reveal, and then I'd like to drop more alpha about those risk zones, about targeting next town hall.
That's great, man. Let's clear it through comms. So without further ado, Santi, yeah, I think it was really great to meet some people, and we probably should take some time here and roll into Q&A.
Yeah, really happy to have everyone here on stage. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Ash. Thank you, Chip. Thank you, Dan. And of course, Michael. Thank you for taking the time to be here with the community, just updating us on everything that is happening. We really appreciate it. I think I speak in the name of the whole community. So thank you.
I appreciate it. We wouldn't be here without the community, and everything that we're doing is for you guys out there. So I would just likewise say thank you all for attending, taking some time out of your day to join us, to hear about the updates, and to meet some of the team and learn more about what we're building here and what our true ambition and vision is for this. So thanks everyone for being here.
Okay, so
Thank you.
if you have any questions, feel free to raise your hand. We will start letting people in to ask questions. You can ask a question to anyone here on stage. So, yep, I will start inviting people. I invited Carl from the Spanish-speaking community.
Hi there.
Hello, Carl. How are you?
Thank you, man. Thank you for the opportunity. First time here.
Welcome to the
well,
stage.
I'm Carl, co-founder of Chimera. Chimera is the largest Hispanic guild in the metaverse, and it's a pleasure for me to be here. Well, my question is regarding to servers. We have many Star Citizen players, and as you may know, Star Citizen has been stuck with server capacity since 16, I think. They can support more than 50 players at the same time in the same server. My question is, how do you plan on preparing server to support thousands of players? Thank you.
Well, Carl, welcome. It's great to have you up on stage for the first time, and really appreciate your support of Star Atlas. And we have seen definitely a large migration of users from existing MMOs like Eve and like Star Citizen over to Star Atlas. Unfortunately, I can't really specifically answer your question right now. What I would say is it's an area that we are dedicating a lot of time of R&D into. Again, thinking about even something like one of our Titan class ships, where we're going, it's going to be possible of accommodating hundreds of players, maybe thousands of players, and central space stations where we want to see even more concurrent users than that. It's of utmost importance to us. Now, we're very early on in this R&D. I think the primary comment or feedback that I can provide to you right now, and I don't want to misspeak here, but Star Citizen developed out its own game engine in the creation of that product. Fortunately, we're working with Unreal Engine 5, and there's a lot of plugins and modules and third-party integrations that we can leverage that should benefit us going into the future in terms of scalability of player base and ability to accommodate those multiple concurrent users. So it's kind of a non-answer. I can't really give you too many specifics on it. I would maybe defer here to either Chip or, Sarah wasn't working on the technical team at Star Citizen, but she did work on the art team. And so if either of you two have a comment there, I'd welcome you to respond.
No, I guess the only comment I can make, full disclosure, I'm not on the technical team, so I'm speaking from just what I've overheard, is that there is this emphasis on there's going to be gameplay and certain interactions on the blockchain, and then there's going to be things that are going to be hosted on traditional MMO servers, and we're in the process of balancing those two requirements. We certainly wouldn't want to stray from our vision of having this decentralized server and gameplay hosted on the blockchain, but there's certain limitations associated with that. So we're also exploring hosting some of the more non-transactional gameplay elements on MMO type robust server infrastructure. So that's really the only extra color I can provide to that question.
Yeah, that is helpful, Chip. And I guess to clarify on that a little bit, I mean, there will be some centralized services behind this product and this concept initially. However, one of the core differentiators that we have as a team is that, and I described this actually for anyone that was listening in on the BGA Blockchain Gaming Alliance game demo just immediately before this, is there's really multiple directions a team can take to build out a so-called blockchain game. The implementation that we're seeing right now, most prevalent, is a pretty basic one. It's building out a video game in a traditional format using a game engine like Unity or Unreal Engine, and then possibly introducing NFTs as the asset base across that game. That's the easiest to accommodate because it's essentially providing the ability for traditional studios to build games as they always have and just introduce a new asset class. The extension of that is then to form a foundational economy that introduces things like cryptocurrency or crypto native assets, which we have, right? So we have the NFTs. We also have Atlas. We have Polis for governance. That's the next extension. The most complicated deployment of this vision is to actually build game logic on chain. Now, anybody interacting with Score today is seeing the first implementation of that. And to my knowledge, there's no other teams that are actually building out a true blockchain game. I've mentioned in the past, some of the benefits of that are synchronicity across various game environments. So somebody that's interacting with an object on their mobile device would be reflected on the web client, and it'd be reflected in Unreal Engine. If you place a building with your mobile phone, somebody using their desktop computer would actually see that item be placed in real time. But this adds a significant degree of complexity to the way that we develop out. However, the benefit to that is that over time, we do have the ability to create this censorship-resistant, fully decentralized ecosystem, which means even in the future, again, this is distant future, but it would be possible, maybe pending R&D, that the game servers themselves, which are traditionally centralized services, can actually be decentralized and operated by the community as well. Therefore, providing and building the architecture and infrastructure in a truly decentralized form. What that means is, not only are players holding polis and staking polis able to govern the future of the economy and game design, but the hosting itself of this is actually facilitated by the community, and ownership is delivered to the community. So, long-term thinking, but hopefully that helps respond a little bit to some of your concerns.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you, Cole.
Thank you for the question, Cole.
Thank you,
Glad to have
Santi.
you here on stage.
Okay.
I will let someone else in. I invited Metagonzo. Metagonzo, feel free to accept the invitation.
Hey everyone, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Welcome to the stage.
Hello.
Hello, we can hear you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, Michael, can you hear him? I can.
Yes, I can.
Looks like Discord is having some little issues. Some people is saying that they are not listening. So again, if you are listening, please tell me on general chat so we can move forward. I'm checking general chat right now. Okay, yeah, it's working. So it was a little issue. I will let someone else into the stage. I invited Dreaming Dragon. Dreaming Dragon, please accept. Okay, hopefully you can hear us. Okay, yeah, I can hear as well. Yeah.
Dreamy Dragon, it's a great question, man. And just an immediate response is that we do already have team members that are leaders of guilds. So it's not an area that we want to stifle. An advantage to us is simply the passion that these community members are already bringing to the project. They're bringing innovation to the ecosystem that is Star Atlas through the formation of their guilds and the products and services and features that they're developing for the external community as well. Right, so certainly not something that we want to stifle. And Dan, maybe you want to jump in and comment on this a little bit. What is very important to us is that we don't provide any level of disadvantageous position of information to anybody that's on the team. And so we are working extensively on our internal communications policy and how we restrict access to privileged information. But Dan, I see you're unmuted there. Any additional comments?
Yeah. I've actually been working with Kelsey on this, who's on our HR side with Stephen, and we obviously need to balance some concerns here. The first is, as Michael mentioned, that we definitely learn a lot from using our own product, right? From playing the game and using it in the way that it will be possible in the future, which is like very integrated DAC platforms, etc. At the same time, we definitely don't want to ever give the impression that we are taking sides or we're doing anything that favors one guild over another, or taking advantage of kind of confidential information about future game design, etc. So it is something we are considering very carefully. We're erring currently on the side of being permissive because we haven't seen, and we have no reason to suspect that anybody would abuse inside information. But we are evaluating it constantly, and we will, if needed, adapt our policy. There's a lot of different approaches we can take. We've been looking at what other games have been doing. Like some other games will tag their their team members so you can identify who they are in game, or they'll publicize exactly who they are, or they'll have restrictions on the kinds of activities they can undertake, such as maybe they can't join guilds, or they can join guilds but not take a leadership position, etc. So we're thinking through a lot of possibilities here. But right now, we definitely encourage active members of the community to be joining our team too.
Yeah, fantastic. Thanks for the question.
Thank you, Dreaming Dragon, for the question. I invited someone else into stage. Lucius Psychos, please accept the invitation. Okay, we have him. Welcome to the stage, friend.
Hello guys, how are you? Do you hear me?
Yeah, we can. Oh, don't tell me that he did.
Well, first of all, thank you very much for having me here. It's an honor to share this with you and the rest of the Star Atlas community and guild members. My question is related to the gameplay aspect of it all. I have been in EVE Online player since 2006, a Star Citizen player since 2014. And I'm very curious because I know a lot of people from those two communities are very much interested in what Star Atlas has to offer, not only financially, but also game-wise. And they're a little bit, hesitant to jump in because, they might be intimidated by crypto and all the different aspects and verticals that it has. So I was wondering whether or not there is, maybe not now, but in the near future, some kind of a specific effort or a campaign in order to attract those players, because let me tell you, there's a lot of us out there. We might not be financial wizards like you all are, but we are very much into gaming, politics, strategy, logistics, and things like that. So I was wondering if that's something that you're thinking in the future. And thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, man, great question. Really appreciate that. I guess let me emphasize first and foremost that our core objective is to develop out and build and deliver a high quality, entertaining gameplay experience. That's our primary focus. Secondary to that is developing out, as a cornerstone and foundation, a solid, robust, and sustainable economy going into the future. This is essential for the continuity of gameplay for many years to come, and is increasingly complex given the open nature of our economy relative to how traditional game environments operate, very much walled garden and closed off. We have to operate our economy as essentially a nation state, kind of the way that countries do, and consider factors like foreign policy and monetary and fiscal policy, as well as things like foreign exchange and import-export. So that adds a degree of complexity to how we model the economy itself. But the gameplay is what's going to be the most fun. It's what's going to attract the users, and the rest, the financial incentives, are just additional benefits that accrue to players. We genuinely, and we lost him. I'll continue answering. Hopefully he's able to join back into the chat. But the gameplay is intended to be the core element of what we're building today, and for the first couple of years as we continuously evolve into this open economy metaverse concept. So with respect to our go-to-market strategy and what demographics we market to, the rollout was really targeted largely towards the crypto community. There was a team that provided a webinar that identified really 9 different cohorts, but let me just kind of summarize it into 3. And it's kind of this investor speculator category. These are people that are, call them whales, or people that are fluent in crypto, that have a desire to purchase these assets, whether they want to play with them or not, kind of for the speculative potential of it. There's the play to earn cohort. So these are people from emerging markets, developing nations, really anybody all over the world that identifies play to earn as an opportunity for them to improve their quality of life, to potentially earn more as a form of income than they could earn working a job in their local community, local economy. This has led to the statement around why I believe that we are going to see the largest labor market the world has ever seen. These highly efficient and highly competitive labor markets around the world. And then the third cohort is really the traditional gamer who wants to, maybe doesn't care so much about crypto or DeFi or blockchain or even the financial incentives. They're just looking for a great game to play. Now, we want to be careful and strategic in when we start recruiting and promoting to these various cohorts. We focused heavily on the people that were in the crypto ecosystem because there are things like security concerns. There's financial consequence to not being able to protect your NFTs or protect your crypto. And, Santi, I'm sure we'll close, but, for everyone out there, again, scams are everywhere. So you have to be extremely careful about your interactions with other people across the crypto ecosystem. So we focused on them first. In the presentation of our vision. And what has been really surprising, but also encouraging to us, is that we've seen a lot of traditional gamers already start to associate with the project because they believe in the vision and they believe in the gameplay and the mechanics and what this can become. So going towards the future, though, as we start to deliver more modules that would be really enjoyable and would be interactive with the traditional gamer, then we will start to increase marketing and communications efforts to them. We just don't want to do that prematurely, wherein people might be disappointed with the timeline that it takes to create this superior product that we're building. So unfortunately, we lost him, so he can't get any follow up there. But but again, hopefully that helps.
All right, Michael, thank you for the answer. I'm sorry that we lost our community member who asked the question. But we are already 1 hour in. Do you want to take one more question, or how do you want to manage this, Michael?
Unfortunately, today, Santi, I do have immediately following this. I'm actually quite excited about it. It's an internal demo day with our engineering core, and we're going to be getting some updates on all of those roadmap items that we've been discussing today. So I'm looking forward to getting those updates now, and I do have to hop onto that call in 1 minute.
Okay, Michael, thank you very much. Again, we really appreciate you being here and everyone here on stage as well. Thanks for joining today. This was the Star Atlas Town Hall. So no further comments from my side. Michael, I will let you add something if you want.
As always, Santi, appreciate you hosting, man. You do a fantastic job. Sarah, Ash, Chip, and Dan, appreciate you being up here with me and sharing a little bit of that back kind of stage access and insight. So really appreciate you guys and everybody else on the Star Atlas team. You're doing amazing work, and we really appreciate you. And of course, everyone out there in the community, thanks so much for joining us. And we really look forward to bringing these products out that you guys are going to love.
Yeah, so no extra comments from Michael. We will see everyone right now. Go to Twitter. Ash is hosting the Town Hall after party. So I would love to see everyone there. We will discuss about the news dropped on the Town Hall, and maybe we can get some extra alpha from some team members. So I really encourage everyone to join. And nothing else. Thank you for joining today. We really appreciate you being here, and power to the people.
And stick it to the man.
Thank you.